I bought a new PS4 controller because my last one broke, right? Money I thought I wouldn't have to spend for at least 5 years. Apparently my expectations are way too high because I thought I was buying something durable. You know, something that would last me a long time. Yo, I was so wrong because instead I felt like I ended up buying this. Sony, how the f- Sony, we gotta talk. I don't want this to sound like I'm tripping over money, it's more along the lines of bruh, make sure your product lasts. Anybody with a PS4 controller can agree with me to some extent. The Dualshock 4 is well designed but poorly built. The battery life, whack. Thumbsticks tear off after a while of use, in other words, whack. The triggers, at least for me, broke in a certain spot, and what takes the cake as the most annoying flaw with the Dualshock 4 is not the thumbsticks because you can buy gel tabs to protect them, and I highly recommend those by the way. Not the battery life because I'm always in reach of a charger, not the triggers because I was able to fix that on my own, and I have to admit that was probably somewhat my fault. It was a close second, but after buying a new controller and running into the same issue again, the most annoying flaw by far is the analog sticks. There's this glitch in the analog sticks that stops your movement on any game when you try to go forward. Let me break it down. For example, if I'm playing Paragon and I'm running forward in a straight line, I notice my character starts to slow down as if I'm letting up on the analog stick, but in reality, I haven't eased off shit. The issue got so bad on my first controller, my character would just straight up stop, and I had to turn the camera and move in a different direction to compensate for it. My second controller, which I bought less than a year ago, has been doing the same thing as of late, but hasn't gotten as bad. Now I gotta buy a new controller because I can't deal with that annoyance anymore. Whenever something I own breaks or acts up, I make sure to go online and see if everyone is having the same issue. I do this because I need to know if I'm fucking up or it's a product. I go online and guess what? Turns out I'm not the only one. I see issues that I have as well as ones I hope I don't run into. The crazy part is the Dualshock 3 was built like a tank. It lasted me years. I could drop that bitch, pick it right back up and play like nothing happened. I could play for 2 weeks straight on one full charge and still be surprised every time I gotta charge it. Like how, nigga? How do you go from that to... I don't get it. But I found out that Sony has just updated the controller and launched it alongside with the PS4 Pro. So I looked into it thinking, you know, maybe they're aware of the common issues with the Dualshock 4 and maybe they decided to take that whole new year, new me approach. Since, you know, they're updating the PS4. The console looks completely different and functions better than the original, right? So what better chance to update a controller than now? And updated they did by adding a blue light on the touch panel. Okay, I'll admit, it's a good idea because some games use a light on a controller as an indicator of health or whatever, and you don't really notice it because the light is behind the controller pointing away from you, so yeah, cool. But what about everything else? I can't make this video without offering any solutions to the problem, so how about 1. For the battery life, can we get an option to turn the controller light off completely? I know there's a dim option, but I ultimately don't need the light to be on, it just kills the battery. 2. Completely redo the analog sticks. They're trash. Find different materials or a better way to make them, please. 3. Survey every common glitch and issues with the controller and find new solutions to them. I want to get the quote-unquote new controller, but something tells me don't get my hopes up, so I'm not even gonna bother with it. It's funny that I'm making this video because I just found out that Sony decided to make new controllers. They're doing this by contracting Razer and Nikan or Nikon, however you pronounce that, to make them pro controllers like the Xbox Elite ones. I guess for competitive players some shit. Now the Razer controller looks dope. It looks like it's got its priorities straight, and personally I'll get that out of the two, but I need to know the price because they both look like it's gonna cost somewhere north of $100, and I'm not made of money. Maybe it's me. Maybe I'm going way too hard when I play and I just need to calm the fuck down. Either way, I still feel like Sony dropped the ball with some choices on the controller, choices I feel they could easily correct. It's sad too because I do like the PS4 controller. I do think it's a dope design, but whatever. Yeah, so hopefully you guys know the routine by now. Comment your thoughts down below, like and share the video, help me grow, subscribe, blah blah blah, all of that. I'm out.